Well, hello there. What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to HaveKnifeDay, and today we're going to take a closer look at the F3 Charlie by Tekto. This knife's been out for a while in some different configurations, so it has some videos out there. I'm going to share my opinions and experiences and if I would buy it again. So, to get us started, let's check out some dimensions. Okay, you have a 3.85 inch blade with about 3.8 of cutting. You have about 9 inches overall with a 5 inch, just over a 5 inch handle, and about, I would say, about 4 inches of grip. Let's check out. Wow, 0.10 on the blade thickness. That's pretty thin. And on the handles, looking at exactly a 1/2 inch. What's this thing weigh? .4 ounces. It's not terrible. Got some size comparisons. We've got Spyderco PM2 coming in at 8 1/4, and we have the Spyderco Delica coming in at 7 1/8. So as you can see, it's a big knife, or a pretty big knife. Yeah, let's look at the carry profile here. PM2 and the Delica. How's that look on there? There we go. So you can see it's going to stick in the pocket at least 3/4 of an inch more. You also have the flipper tab over here, which the PM2 doesn't have that. So overall thickness from here to here is about the same from here to here. All right. What do we got for materials? You have a tie-dye coated D2 blade. You have G10 scales with recessed stainless steel liners that are heavily milled. They are coated as well. You have your standard standoffs back here. You have a one-position pocket clip that is deep-ish carry and sticks up like that. And we'll talk about that later. Black stainless steel hardware. Says it's assembled in the USA. Has USA right on the blade. Yeah, okay. Let's do a hardware check on it. Let's see, these look bigger, so let's see if T8 will work. Okay, pivot is captive and it has a T8. Body screws are T8. Yep, same on that side. And the pocket clip, single pocket clip screw looks like it is a T6. Okay. Okay. Looks like it has phosphor bronze washers. That's everything I could see. I did not take it apart. But I don't know if you can see the shiny brass something that's in there. Phosphor bronze. It looks like phosphor bronze washers from here. Overall, the hardware is, nothing special. It's pretty, pretty standard. How's the action? The action's not bad. It's got a button lock. The button lock works well. Detent is pretty medium. It's pretty okay. Lockup is good. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No pivot lash of any kind. Button works well. Flipper tab works well. You got this fuller running along the blade. You can use that. Closing of the knife obviously is finger safe. It's effortless with the button. Button really doesn't have any stick to speak of. As long as you push it all the way down, it falls easily. This did not come to me centered. I've had this probably over a year. I got this off of White Mountain Knives. Shout out to Justin. He hooks you up. He ships fast. He ships free. No tax. And there's all kinds of discount codes out there that you can find. I don't have one, but everybody else does. And you can get 10% off. And that's not just one time, that's all the time. So look for them. So not centered, a little bit off to the clip side. And for what this costs, it should be centered for sure. You know, this is 2026. When I got it, it was 2025. Maybe late 2024 when I got it, I can't remember. But, you know, in this day and age, this should be centered. Overall, I think it's pretty good. The action feels good, feels solid. It's got great fidget factor, multiple deployment options, so, you know, all of that's good. I think the build quality is pretty good on this. Like you can see the milling in the titanium, it looks like it was done right. There's no hot spots or sharp edges. All the milling was done good. These are kind of like 90 degree. You could probably zip yourself up pretty good with those. But all in all, I mean, you'd have to really push in there to do anything. The blade, there's no sharp edges on the top of the blade. It's rounded off nicely on the swedge. It's kind of got a little swedge that starts here and works its way down to the tip. Even the edge right here is, you know, it's not sharp, but it's knocked down just a little bit. All the edges are nicely knocked down. Even this back here, you know, this jimping provides some traction. However, it's not, it's knocked down on the inside, and the jimping here, not really functional. I mean, you'd have to really press in there to get any use out of that, so I don't know what the idea of that was. Because when you're sitting here holding it like this, you're not really going to notice that. I think the blade is an attractive drop point blade. I like the fuller. I like the grind on it. It works well. It slices great. I like the fact that there's no branding. There's not a billboard all the way across here. However, when you turn it over, you do have a little bit there. And the earlier versions of this knife used to have Portland, Maine on the other side with no USA on it and just the D2 on this side. And then instead of their name on the pocket clip, which I dislike immensely, all they had was their little symbol here, their little logo. That was the only thing on the pocket clip from their earlier models. I was not fortunate enough to get one with just that, because that would be fine with me. You know, just your brand logo, that's cool. But writing your name on the pocket clip, I don't need to advertise to everybody what I'm carrying. I would rather just have a plain pocket clip. You know, why draw attention to yourself, for sure. I think the blade to handle ratio is pretty decent, although I will say that tip, if I'm showing that right, that tip, there's not much keeping that inside there. I mean, it does have a pretty good detent. I mean, it's pretty crispy. I'm pulling on it. You know, it's not easy to get out. But that blade is a little too close for comfort. For me personally. And, you know, that's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You know. The blade is a slicey blade. I mean, at only 0.10 thickness, you're not really going to do anything hard with this knife for sure. It's meant to be a slicing blade, I take it, even though the advertising and the marketing for this knife doesn't suggest that. You know, this is suggested as this is a tactical folder, and this is heavy duty, and this is, you know, a big knife and all that, and the blade stock thickness is pretty thin. I would like to see this around, you know, 0.14, at least 50% more material here. You know, 0.15, then I would be like, yeah, that's pretty good, you know. And this doesn't weigh a lot at 4.2 ounces. You know, for a 9-inch knife, it's pretty good. You've got a lot of belly here. Like I said, it slices very, very well. It goes right through boxes and tape and cordage. And I've had this for over a year, and I've never had to sharpen it. You know, D2 is not stainless, but this is coated. And even the edge looks pretty good. And I've taken this camping, carried it hiking, things like that. So all in all, not bad. I would say for the ergos and the comfort on it, I mean, it's pretty darn comfortable. You got a little bit of functional jimping up here, even though your thumb does not naturally rest right there. It comes back to here, and it would be nice if they just carried the jimping all the way up here to the top of the spine. You don't really have much of a thumb ramp, so I don't really understand why this is even here. Again, my opinion. There's really no other jimping on the knife other than here. It's not sharp. There's no hot spot on it. The fitment's pretty good. And the carry weight, you don't really notice this in your pocket only being 4 ounces. So, I mean, they heavily skeletonized the steel liners inside there, which is fine. There is a little bit of flex when you squeeze on it. If you squeeze here, you can flex it. So that is not a reassuring feeling for a knife that is targeted as tactical and or heavy duty and or military law enforcement, whatever, mall ninja, whatever. If I can flex this like this, that doesn't give me a lot of reassurance. You know, it doesn't have as solid of a feel as it could. So, especially with a 9-inch knife. If you're buying a knife this big, what are you buying it for? You're not buying it to be super lightweight and super easy to carry. You know, you're buying it for a reason. This is a work knife. This is a knife to get things done. So I would expect it to be a little bit more substantial as far as how it feels in my hand. Now we'll move on to the pocket clip. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how far that sticks up, it can catch on absolutely everything I walk by. And since it's such an abrupt angle, when you go to take it out of your pocket, that's perfectly fine. But it doesn't need to be that abrupt. I mean, that is ridiculous. And I haven't done anything with this. Normally when I get a knife like this, if the pocket clip's ridiculous, I kind of warm it up and smooth it out a little bit. But since you only get this one, and who knows about, you know, customer service, replacing a clip, I don't want to break the clip, so I just left it alone, and I don't carry it as much. You know, I carry knives that are more comfortable, have a better clip. Also, you'll notice it's not reversible to the other side. So lefties, which they normally could use a button lock pretty easily, there's no option for them. Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. Overall, I think it carries well. You know, it's in and out of the pocket pretty easy, although this does catch on everything. It slices pretty good. You know, it's got a good slicey blade. Handle's relatively comfortable. You know, overall pretty good. Now, do you want one? Well, maybe. These are $130. All right, you got D2 steel, you've got G10. No reversible pocket clip. The bill on the pocket clip is absolutely ridiculous. Blade stock thickness is pretty thin for this being a tactical style knife. You know, this is good at slicing cardboard and paper, maybe some cordage here and there, but you're not doing a lot with this blade. It's too thin. All right, so this is $130. Now you can go on White Mountain Knives and get this, and you'll get 10% off. But still, at just over $115, I don't know. I mean, who's this for? If you want a larger knife that slices well, that's pretty lightweight, and you're not doing heavy tasks, I would think this thing's awesome. All right, it's awesome. Personally, I think the value for what you're getting, I don't think it's there. You get this box. You get a very, I guess, okay little pouch. It's got some attachment points. It's got some, you know, spandex here. You can throw it on a belt. It's got some different attachment points, so that's good, you know. But this has a pocket clip and a lanyard hole, so you can just use that. If you're going to just attach this to your backpack maybe, you know, run something through there, sure, okay. Comes with this box, that pouch, and that's what you get for $130. These are on Amazon as well. They come in a couple different colorways. And that's what you're getting. Now, you want some competitive options? Okay. These are relevant because this says it's assembled in the United States. That doesn't mean the parts and everything else was made here. So I'm going to compare it against things that are basically the same without the assembled in the United States moniker that they put right here on their blade. So you want D2, you want a large knife that's made for work. Here's a couple of knives from an American company you've heard of, CRKT, and this is the Clever Girl. Now this, I believe, is made in Taiwan, might be China, but I'm not sure. You get super thick textured G10 scales over stainless steel liners with a deep carry clip that is reversible to the other side. You get the deadbolt lock, which is awesome. There's a video out there of Cold Steel comparing their triad lock to this lock, and you'd be amazed at how much strength this lock has. You have over 4 inches of cutting on a 4-inch blade of D2 steel, and it is coated as well. This knife feels good in the hand. This thing is beefy. The blade stock thickness is considerably thicker, 0.13. So it's 30%, 30% thicker than that blade. So definitely a thicker blade steel, definitely a more robust knife as far as how that feels. So that's option 1. And these, you can get these on CRKT's website right now for $100. And the original price on these was about $160. So these are $100 right now. And I'm filming this Saturday morning. Next, we're going to go to the M21-04G Big Dog from CRKT. And the G stands for G10. You got G10 scales, stainless steel liners, open construction, 4-way position pocket clip. I do not remember exactly what the blade steel is on this, but it is coated, and you can find these new all over the place. And these are only $75. Blade HQ's got them right now. Many different versions of this, even with aluminum scales, $75. About the same blade length, about the same amount of cutting. This is a little larger. Blade stock thickness is just a little bit more at 0.13, so it's 30% thicker as well. Pretty good option. This comes with a locks, auto lock system that I disengaged, but it comes with that. You have thumb studs, you have flipper deployment. It's got pretty good action, and mine has been well loved. I have beat the crap out of this. So that's option number 2. Let's check out option number 3. This is the Harns Warrior. Now this bad boy is made in China. This has a tie-dye coated D2 steel. The newer versions have a reversible pocket clip to the other side. You can also get this in a tanto and also different colors. They make this all black as well with a serrated or non-serrated blade. You almost have the exact same amount of cutting on the exact same amount of blade length. The knife is about the same overall. Your blade stock thickness is a little thicker at 0.14, so it's 40% thicker than this blade. Way more substantial knife. This is also in phosphor bronze washers, so you can see the difference in how robust each one of these are. So, and this is $45. $45 on this on Amazon. So there's option 3. Option 4, we're going to go with the CJRB Tundra. I love this knife. You have a coated D2 blade with almost Medford thickness at 0.18, so 80% thicker, almost twice as thick as this blade. D2 steel that's coated. Nice, aggressive, tactical feel. You have G10 scales over stainless steel liners. You have multiple deployment options with this. You also have a reversible pocket clip and a spot to put in here to make this essentially a fixed blade. These are $65. This comes in multiple configurations, and if you want to spend more money, you can get this in titanium. They make a premium version of this as well. Awesome knife. And finally, I'm going to give you the most compelling option. As I said when I did my collection video on this, you can get a Civivi for about half the price. Same materials. Maybe not the same materials. And it's not a Civivi. We're going to go with a Sencut. This is probably the closest thing I could find to this knife, and this knife costs less than half as much. You could almost get 3 of these for what you get for 1 of these. So what do you get? You get 9CR18 MOV coated blade steel. You get a deep carry clip that is reversible to the other side. You have a button lock. And Sencut does a great job with their button locks. Flipper tab, blade cutout, forward finger choil that is functional, jimping that is not functional, feels good in the hand. Blade stock thickness is about the same. It's actually thicker. Now, 9CR18 MOV is not going to hold an edge as well as D2, but this is also stainless. So there's that. You have a little bit less cutting on this knife. Blade length is about the same. Overall length is almost the same. $45, $130. You can decide on that. Overall, I think the knife is cool. I like it. I was going to sell it many, many times, and for the loss I was going to take on this, I decided not to. It's just nice to keep another knife that's not too heavy, that functions well, and has a few quirks, but overall is a pretty good knife. I think for what you're paying, I think it's too much, but for what I was going to lose, I just decided to keep it. So, that's going to do it for me today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments. If you like this video, leave it a like. And subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, have a knife day.